Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another show. I'm Sister Gail Muhammad. I'm sitting in this afternoon. We're here, I like to always say, at the beautiful studios of Muhammad and Friends, which is adjacent to the CROE archives. I can't help but remind you and ask you and plead with you to come and see this beautiful facility that's dedicated to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, his students, and to black people. And as I always say, the first thing people say is, where's my picture on the wall? Well, your picture will be on the wall when you come through these doors and learn about what we have in here. And as I have been saying, too, every picture on the wall, I guarantee you, they're just not up there to be up there. They have stories behind them. And we know the backstory. But more importantly, like I said, this is a facility with you in mind, and it's about us. This is a tape show. We do go live, but this is not live. But I want to remind you that you can subscribe and share the show. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page, CROE TV, or YouTube, CROE TV, and you can like and share the show. This is a beautiful day. It's December in Chicago. It's a little chilly, but you know, we've seen far worse. But I can tell you this, I have some people here that's going to warm us up today, and they have a heartwarming story that I'm excited to hear about. So joining me today is Brother Carl Gowan.
Yes.
And Brother Kevin Payne. How are you?
Good.
And
Good.
You're here to talk about an organization I have not heard of before, but I'm quite excited to hear about because before we started the show, you gave me some really good news that I was very happy to hear, that anytime black people are out here working, we get so little, but we do a lot.
Yes.
And we are making an impact in spite of what we see on the news. But what I want to do is start with you, Carl, and you can tell me a little bit about SOX Foundation. But before you give me that, why don't you tell me who you are, and maybe give me some backstory of how all of this came about, which sounds so exciting to me.
Absolutely. Well, for me, I'm a product of 81st and Dobson, which is on the south side of Chicago. Went to Simeon High School. Of course, you know, there's a lot of guys out there and girls out there who really love that. I come from Little League Baseball, which was on the south side. And my endeavor at that point was to know every single summer I had a bevy of men that I could talk to. Grown adults who I could ask a question of, who took care of me, who made sure I was doing the right things. Fast forward, 2020, I get to a point where I've had a baseball team now. We've been rocking since about 2006. 2020, I get a phone call from one of my guys. He goes, hey, I'm seeing something on TV right now. As a black man, I can't tell you how you feel, but I know for me, this is very upsetting. He said, I don't like what I see and we got to make a change. I cannot sit on the sideline any longer. That led to a 3-hour conversation, and we talked about the fact that we need to start a foundation. Let's start this up. Let's try to reach the youth. Let's see what we can get done and maybe make some kind of a change. And from there, 2020, we formed this called the SOX Foundation. And we are a 501c. We have literally done more than what I even thought we had done. And we've hit the ground running. And we're just trying to do what we can to get kids to realize there's way more to life than just what you see out of your blocks. There's a lot of life out there.
You said 2006 you started a baseball team, so where were you playing? So this is just a little local?
In 2006, we were actually playing out of Roy Hobbs, it's right off of 95th and Oak Park Avenue. And we there for about 9 years, then we left from there. Now we're playing out of Tinley Park.
And these are all grown men?
These are all grown men. Everybody's absolutely grown. But we have two teams. One team is an 18-plus team. The other team is a 30-plus team. And we've just been doing this for a while. We all love baseball. And then we've all had a passion for kids and trying to do the right thing for children. I'm sorry to say that at my age now, I wish I'd have been doing this a lot sooner, but I know God's plan is I give it to you when you need it
That's
and
right.
when you're supposed to have it, and I get that. But the experience I had growing up, knowing that I had people who I could count on, these kids need to have the same thing. They need to know that there's somebody they can call, somebody they can talk to. And it doesn't matter whether it's about baseball, whether it's about academics, it's about which college I want to go to. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about something. Let's know that there's more out there. And that's the point that we're trying to get across to everyone. It's more out there.
You know, we're going to come back to that, but Kevin, give me your backstory, because it seems like you all have really been doing a lot. And how did you get involved in this? What touched you to be involved in this?
It's like Carl said. There's been two things I've been doing since I was 5 years old, and that's playing baseball and bowling. So there's not a year that has gone by that I haven't done both those things. And Carl had his team started. I was already playing on another team. I did not really care for the way the team was being run, the team that I was on. But I was able to look across the diamond and see what Carl was doing with his team. And I was saying to myself, I'm not going to stop playing, but I would like to be a part of that man's team. He's doing it the right way. And the rest is history from there. He graciously accepted me in, and it was a total, still till now, it's a total family atmosphere. Yeah, we're competitive. Don't get me wrong. We're not just out there saying, hey, we do this. We are competitive. We do like to win, but it was very much a family atmosphere with a group of guys, very good group of guys. And yeah, it was a good fit. It was a good fit.
So Kevin, okay, he said he wanted to be on your team. Well, and I mean, even before we get to the foundation, what was going on with your team that attracted him, or that you feel is unique about your team members and you?
The entire reason why I started my team is just like he was playing for a team, I was playing for another team. I didn't like any of the politics. You go and you bring a guy in and you're going to have him play, but this guy didn't pay his money. Where's the standard to this? We've got to hold everybody accountable. It's my team. I still pay my fee.
You all have real rules. Okay.
We have to actually pay for us to play.
Okay.
Well, I didn't think it was fair for 15 guys to be on the team, but guy number 16 comes in because you think he's so much better than everybody. Oh, yeah, you can just come on in and play. You ain't got to pay no money. I don't think so. How is that possible? So that was one of the things that I was very big upon doing, was we need to make this 100% equal for everybody. It's not going to be any different. I don't care if you played in the major leagues before. Put your money on the table. Let's go play. Let's go have some fun. And that's what it was all about for me. Plus, my whole thing was about respect. I was always taught about respect. You got to respect the game. You got to respect the game and the people around it. If you don't respect the game, don't come on the field. Don't come out with all that old crap. I don't want to see that. Respect this. And if you don't respect it, stay home.
All right. So, but what you're also saying, and you can tell me, that it was so much more than even the game, that you all were actually forming a real relationship beyond just the organization itself. So tell me about that, because it's not just getting on the field. Something else is happening beyond that to make this bond, I guess, even tighter.
Well, I can tell you this part of the story. My very first year, we played 24 games. We won 0. We didn't win not one single game. Year 2, we only won 2 games out those 24. That never mattered to me. I didn't care. That part I never cared about. I don't care about winning championships. Never cared about that. My whole thing was bringing a group of people together and singing one song. That was my entire plan throughout all of this. And I have one of the guys who's not here, who started this team with me over, God, I've been knowing the man almost 32 years. And the same concept came out of this. we're coming to play. My kids is your kids. So if I see one of your kids in trouble, I'm coming to their aid. If you see my kid in trouble, I'm coming to the aid. If you have a wife, you have a nephew, a cousin, whatever, you need us, call us, because this is what we're about. The baseball thing is just there. That's just the vessel to get us there. But this is about having a family. And if we don't start somewhere, then we're never going to finish right. We got to start. We got to do that somewhere. And that's what I've tried to do my entire life.
So Kevin, is in the prior team, did you have that type of, I guess, camaraderie? Or did you all think about each other in that way? Beyond just the team, we branching out that this is about the team, the family, and even beyond just the family, the community, because it seems like it is beyond those boundaries.
There were separate relationships within the team that were of like mind, that I could, as they say, rock with those type of guys. As a whole, as a team, no, it was not like that. But there were a few guys on the team that we bonded like that. And those guys eventually, like I said, end up leaving that team. But what I saw across the field was a whole group of guys that were doing that instead of just one or two guys here or one or two guys there. I saw a group of guys that were doing that. And I knew that that's what I needed to be a part of. Then once I became a part of it, I found out, hey, this is so much more. These guys are on the same program I'm trying to be on, giving back to the community, you know, being here for each other's families. You got kids doing fundraisers. You got kids coming up in athletics, dancing, plays, anything like that that they were doing. Hey, let us know when that is so we can come out and support.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful thing.
So you truly saw this branching out beyond just my individual self, my own ego, getting out here to prove a point, that it is about the community of self and not just the individual self.
Yes.
That's one of the things that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, to think about the community versus the individual self. So now you're out here and you're doing these things, but it's only 2020 that you realize that now, all of a sudden, we're doing this, but we got to take this to a higher level. Now we see where we need to formulate something, because I'm assuming the baseball team itself, you all are collecting money. Y'all doing something together, right, to
Correct.
generate some funds, but y'all had not organized per se to say we want to put together something beyond just a team.
The
How
funny
did
thing
that
about
go?
that is this gentleman, which I'm quite sure a lot of people know, he is from V103, Mr. Joe Soto. And Joe was our teammate. 2015, he walked into practice and said, hey, radio station wants me to do something for the community. You know, I'm thinking, let's do a baseball clinic for kids. I said, okay, sure. So that actually started us into doing it. When I did this in 2020, I really didn't think about the fact we had already been doing it back in 2015, because we actually go out and we do a clinic for kids. We do about a 4-hour clinic, and we're on the west side of Chicago. And I just didn't think about the fact the foundation was already set. I just never named it. In 2020, I finally named it and said, okay, we're going to be a foundation. We're going to try to be a 501c. Hey, let's get this thing rocking and rolling. And that's how it all got started. So I had to give my kudos to Joe and tell him personally, hey, you actually saw this in us because you asked me to come and do this with you. And because you did, that was really the basis of me understanding I had this foundation, which was absolutely wonderful. I thank him for entrusting us to come out there and actually lead the kids.
But again, this is what I continue to say. We have so many black organizations who are not getting the type of funding that they should get, and may not even always be as organized as they should be, but they are already doing the work. We just don't have the kind of support. We as a community don't always fully understand how we can support our own. So we have a lot of
challenges in this area where we really need to become more mature and understand and recognize the work that is being done. And it may not be money, but like you said, even when you supported individuals beyond the team, the family members, how important that is just as a community member to go out and show support to those young people. Because if they don't see you, then they don't feel, love. So now you're doing these clinics, and wow, you get the call one day, and you decided something has triggered, and you're going to start the foundation. So tell me about that.
Well, we started the foundation, we got everything going, and we elected officers and started really putting it together. And then the very first thing we did was in 2021. It was in January, I believe it was January 2nd, so a Saturday. Myself and a few other members, Dion, Rick, we went on the west side of Chicago. We were passing out bags. We gave out socks, hats, and gloves on the street. And we were helping out with a church at that point in time. So we just started hitting the ground running with doing some different things and really trying to come out there and get involved. Baseball was always the passion. It was always, hey, we're going to do baseball stuff, get people in. Started to realize, okay, I'm not grabbing as many people as I would like to. Not getting as many kids. We see them here and there, but I'm like, we got to get the word out. We got to get things going. We need to have people see who we are. So we've gotten involved with a few different things. Susan Kuhlman for Cancer. We've been down there for 3 years at Soldiers Field, helping out doing that. We've been involved with the Rookie Rumble, which is wrestling for kids. We've went out and helped with that situation. So we're trying to get a few things going. We've had turkey giveaways. We give away 20 turkeys a year, and along with that, my wife has nicknamed them as bags of joy. And what's in the bag is, it's your entire turkey dinner. It's everything you need to fix that dinner and have that for Thanksgiving. So we've been very fortunate to be able to do those kind of things. And everything comes through donations. And we have on our website, we have a button right there. It's the ShySoxFoundation.com. You can go to it, you can donate. And I know people always think, well, I'm not wealthy, I can't do this, that. No. You have no idea what 20 bucks will do. It goes a long way. As you add them up, it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And the things that we've been able to accomplish and do, it's been immense. Really immense. I mean, and there are times when I've actually looked at it and I'm going, am I really doing the right thing? Am I headed down the right path? I look at a kid's face and I go, oh yeah, I'm doing right. This is the right thing for me to be doing. Because that kid is happy, elated.
Especially on the Christmas family sponsor. That was,
oh, wow.
That was huge.
Yes.
That was big.
We actually sponsored, and I'm glad you brought that up.
That was big.
Oh, God, that was the first year.
Yeah.
We sponsored 2 families. One family had 3 kids. The other family had 5 kids. And I know Dion, who's sitting out there right now, has got, 5 kids. That's the family I had with all the gifts. But what we did was, there was a church, and actually it's off of 71st Street. The Black Church of the Black, I can't remember the name of it now. But we said, hey, give us a few families. Let's see what we can get done and accomplish. Well, each kid got a pajama set, an outfit, and a toy. And we did that for every single kid. And it was something that I didn't even see it. He delivered the gifts, and I asked him, I said, how were the family? He said, man, they were ecstatic. They were ecstatic to get those gifts. And that was just something that we said, let's try this. I wanted to walk in the hospitals and do the whole Santa get up and do the elves and give back to the kid. And they, of course, during that time frame, after 2020, nobody wanted to have anybody around. So it was like, well, we can't do that. I said, well, let's try this and see what happens. So, and it was something that was just wonderful to do. Even though I didn't see any of the families, I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine, I know people celebrate Christmas, but I wish we would do this more throughout the year.
Yeah,
correct.
I'm an advocate that we shouldn't have to wait for one special day. And I hope that at some point, and maybe with everything that we might see in the new year, we may start to think a little differently because the need is great. And the challenges right here in Chicago, housing, food, all of these things. So when you start to look at the Chi-Town, Chi-Sox Foundation, obviously you're identifying needs as well. So Chi-Sox Foundation per se, then let's talk about what is it, because we got a lot of needs here. And we got a lot, I mean, it sounds like you really taking on a real big challenge, but the challenges are real. And it doesn't mean, you know, we shouldn't look at them. We should. It's good that someone is thinking about them. Anytime I hear, it lets me know, yeah, we're going to be all right in spite of, you know. So Chi-Sox Foundation, and you doing these things, or your heart is with these young people. Exactly what is Chi-Sox Foundation? Talk about it. What's its mission? What's its goal? Since you are out here in the community and you have a love for your community, what is Chi-Sox?
It is comprised of a bunch of individual men who literally have passion for the game of baseball and passion for people. That's literally what we're made of. There's no smoke, no mirrors. We're just passionate for people. When we do an event, when we hold an event, first of all, the event's free. So you don't spend any money to bring your child out to the event. And we take a lot of pride in the things that we do. While we're within that event, we talk to those kids. We talk to them not just about what we're doing, not about fielding baseballs or hitting a baseball. We talk to them. Hey, how's school? How's everything going? What's happening with your life? What would you like to be doing? And because we talk about the different things about what we do as men, they ask us questions about, hey, what are you guys' occupation? What are you doing? And we tell them, this is what we do. And they kind of look at us like, okay, so you're out here with us. You're doing this with us. Okay. We don't really understand it, but we're proud that you're here. We're glad that you're here. We do a lot of different things like that in talking to the kids and just saying, hey, you are somebody. You are worthy. Think of yourself in this light. Because there are times when kids will say things, I go, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's not think that way. Let's spin this differently. Think about what this is. And this is not just, and I know we keep saying the word baseball because we're looking at it from this standpoint. We have a lot of girls who come out too. So we've got them out there and they're running around and playing and doing different things, and they want to be a part of it. And when you see somebody that is young and they're looking at you because they're looking for guidance, they're looking for anything, you have no idea what words you may say to that person that they carry into their adulthood. And I've had things that have been said to me that I still carry today.
Yeah.
And it was only one time that a coach said something to me. I still remember that right now. I mean, and for me, one of the things, when I turned 16, I got my driver's license. Happy, wonderful. First time I backed out of a place, coach came to me, he said, hey, don't always trust that mirror. Turn around and look. Today, just about every car you drive has a backup camera. I don't even use it. I turn around and I look because of what that coach told me. And that's just something, it just instilled. I'm like, you know what? And I find myself doing it without even thinking. But I do it because he said that to me. And there's so many different stories I have of what people said to me, what adults said about doing something. I remember that. And I carry that with me. And I go, you know what? They were looking out for me.
So I'm going to let you chime in too, Kevin. So you all take these opportunities, these events, to not just say we're going to be here to play basketball or baseball. Before we do that or after we do that, we must have some type of sit-down session to put something on their mind beyond just the baseball, you know. What kind of treat or a little nugget can I put in their head after they leave this game having fun that's going to go with them beyond just the athletics today? Talk about your experience, and even just seeing the whole team of you all there and the young people in all of, like you said, you all work, You know, I guess just the idea you have working men, for some of our young people, they may think that black men don't go to work.
Right.
So talk about that.
Well, it's really a scenario of understanding that, you know, they have this thing, this social media, and social
Yeah.
media has its
Yeah.
pros and cons,
Yeah.
definitely. So I don't want to sit here and act like we should get rid of all social media,
Right.
because that's not going to happen. But the internet obviously can be a very helpful tool, and it can also be a very dangerous tool. And when these young people get to see that, along with coming out here to support them, yes, we do have jobs. We do get up and go to work. That's how we make our money. That's how we use our own resources to help provide you with an opportunity, like I said, that you don't have to pay for.
yes.
You can just come out and do this. There are people who are interested in you having those opportunities, not just for the kids that don't look like you. It's very much for the kids that do look like you as well. You put in the hard work, you do the things that you need to do to have the things that you want. And that's one of those messages that when the kids see us, and they see us over and over again, and they see us outside of where they first met us, and they're like, wait a minute, he said he was going to come here. I didn't believe he was going to show up, but I see him. Okay, now there is somebody that supports me.
Yeah.
I see this. It's not just lip service. And so I don't have to be that kid that's, hey, the internet tells me I don't have to work. Yeah, I can sit here and make a phone call, press a button, and make $1 million, and I can do it from home in 2 hours and go out and buy me a boat. No, that's not reality. That's not reality. So us showing them the reality of where they need to be or where they need to go is very important to us. And that they can do it without pulling out a firearm or going and sticking somebody up and robbing somebody, mostly the people that look like them, just to have something in life. It can be done the right way. And there are people who are doing it right in front of you that can help you get there.
You know, Carl, you said something in the very beginning, and I think it really should be highlighted. You said growing up, you had mentors, and but I'm assuming you can tell me they were mostly black mentors, black men that you saw around you, and so with that being said, if that's true, how much more important is it now then for you to do this that you all are doing to try to make sure, like he just said, you know, this social media, we got young people under attack from so many different areas. That social media, they don't even know who they are. You know, I don't know whether I'm a girl or a boy. I just read something the other day where I don't know if she was a girl or a boy, but she wanted to sue the medical field for prematurely giving her whatever sex she decided to go. So the pressures are so great, and they are thinking about things that when you grew up you didn't have to think about.
Correct.
So when I say your job this is not an easy job, you know, our brother Munir, who's no longer with us, he used to call it invasion of the body snatchers.
Yeah.
This is real.
Yeah.
And like I said, I see this as so important, and it's a big job, and it's commendable, and I think it's a great thing that you would be out here. But are you fully aware of what you're up against?
Yes, we are fully aware of it. I can tell you when I grew up, I didn't have any of those pressures. We didn't have any social media. None of that was happening. And yes, I would tell you 95% of my mentors were black. And I had some other ones who were very instrumental, and they were not black. The thing of it is, though, what these kids have today is so, they're so out of touch. They think they're in touch. They're not. They're completely out of touch. And we know that the job that we have to try and do now in convincing someone of life is totally different than what you see. Understand that point. I'm running into so many people now with self-esteem issues, men and women. And I've literally just spoken to a young lady just 2 days ago about her whole self-esteem. And this was all about cutting her hair. And she thought this, and I mean the hair was about that much that she cut off. But she thought that that made her be so different. I'm going, are you kidding? I'm like, come on. Never let anyone paint your portrait for you. You paint your own picture. And these kids they have to get to that point of understanding. Stop letting people tell you who you are. I am who I am because I'm going to tell you who I am. I'm not going to let you tell me. You're not going to define me. And we've got to get these kids back to that. They've got to get back to that point of understanding. Please define yourself. Don't let someone tell you who you are. You got to be your own person. You got to have your own mind, do your own thinking. Have to. So yes, we honestly do realize it's an uphill battle, but it's not one that I'm afraid of. I'm 100% in, 100%. I have no problems with doing it because I know the effect that it can cause. I know what can happen from it. And I've actually had that happen to me. I've had former employees walk down the hallway at a mall and run up and hug me. She said, oh my goodness, I'm so glad to see you. And I'm like, yeah, wonderful to see you too. Talked to her for about 5 minutes. She said, you were trying to tell me everything I needed to do when I was younger. I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening to you. She said, but I'm good now. I got kids and now I understand. I thank you for trying to tell me everything I needed to know. That young lady walked away from me. My wife looked at me and said, who was that? I said, I don't know. I don't remember the girl. I don't remember her name. I'm sorry. She worked with me, I don't remember her name. She said, you saw me. I said, I don't remember. But obviously I was trying to tell her some things to help her out in her life.
Well, the beauty is the brain is like a computer. It's recall.
Right.
So we're going to take a break and we're going to come back. And I want to ask you about the Little League, Jesse, the Jackie Robinson. Tell me how you feel about that. So when we come back, we're going to talk more with SOX Foundation, Carl and Kevin. We'll be right back.
Mission. The company's purpose is to provide a baseball experience
which imitates life's core values
on having a good work ethic.
Our goal is to mentor all children on
how to be successful by emphasizing
hard work in a controlled environment.
We will strive to make our children lifelong learners
and contributing members of our community.
You all coming out.
Explore the natural beauty of thousands of acres of wild and wonderful for an hour, a day, or even a night. Enjoy the forest preserves of Cook County, more than 350 miles of trails. Spend the night camping, go bird watching, and so much more. The forest preserves are a place where native plants and animals thrive, and they help make ourselves and our communities healthier. Learn more and plan your visit at www.fpdcc.com.
Hi, I'm Nidra.
And I'm Diamond.
We are the owners of Solo Beauty Supply, the largest Black-owned beauty supply in Chicago, and we've been in business for over 35 years.
Here at Solo Beauty Supply, we specialize in Black hair care products and styling products. We are conveniently located 8158 South Cottage Grove and 9011 South Ashland in Chicago.
For more information, please visit our website at solobeautysupply.com and follow us on Instagram.
Finally, a store for us, by us, where you are respected and appreciated.
This portion of the Munir Muhammad Show is brought to you by East Lake Management, innovative solutions for building communities of the future today.
Assalamu alaikum, and we are back having a wonderful conversation with SOX Foundation members Carl Gowan and Kevin Payne. And before we went to break, because of the work that you're doing, I couldn't help but think about the incident that affected me so greatly. You know, of course, I don't know all of the ins and the outs, but when we talk about young people and the things that you all are talking about and trying to help young people, and we do have young people, like I said, we have the pressures that's coming from every direction. Sometimes young people are coming from homes where they are being torn down and abused, and they don't have the support that they need. Here we saw a group of young children, and as an outsider looking in, and I don't follow baseball, I just followed that story, and to see these little beautiful young black children winning, and for this thing to be torn down, I just was distraught. And maybe you have some insight, but as a baseball player, I'm just asking for some of your insights and some understanding for me as I look back over this story based on the way you all are operating today and trying to instill so much into these young people beyond just baseball.
I will put it into this context: integrity. And you have to have that integrity in everything that you do. Do I feel for those kids? Absolutely. Absolutely, because those kids didn't ask for that. They didn't ask to be put on that watchful eye of the media and put into that whirlwind. They didn't ask for that. That's the adult's fault. You have to do this thing 100%. You can't have any question to it. There is no this way or that way. It's got to be black and white. You go 100%, and that's how you do it. 100%. I'm not going to get into the logistics of that. I've been around Jackie Robinson West. Been involved with Jackie Robinson West. I will just say point blank, for the sake of the kids, we need to do every single thing and use integrity every time we do it.
Above board.
Above board. Because if we do not do that, we're giving these kids a false sense of the way life can be. We can't do that to them. Because then you have exactly what you had. These kids got put into something. It wasn't their fault.
The spotlight.
The spotlight.
National spotlight.
Right. And that was a spotlight they didn't need to have.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have had that.
Yeah.
It goes back to what Carl was saying earlier about the conversations that we have with a lot of these kids after we have an event. And these are conversations that we need to have, as well as the parents, and having the conversations with the parents too, because unfortunately, especially in this date and time, with success comes all the eyes and everybody who wants to tear it down, because it's not supposed to be you. And where we spread the message, why can't it be you? It should be you. You have every right for it to be you. You're going to have that other side coming in and saying, no, it's not supposed to be you. Who told you it could be you? We told you it could be you. Your parents told you it could be you. You should tell yourself it could be you. But once you do that, and once you hit that measure of success, you're going to get those people who come, no, it wasn't supposed to be you, so now we're going to try to tear it down. And you have two choices. You have the choice of understanding how to handle that so that your success can keep you rising above all the nonsense, or you go the other route and you don't understand how to handle it, and you get into a needless war with them, and in the end, they end up saying, see, there you go right there. That's why it shouldn't have been you. And so that's one of our main purposes, is trying to combat that whole scenario and keep these young people in the way of striving for success and understanding how to handle success. Because when you don't understand how to handle success, ultimately you're going to get knocked back down into failure.
Well, you're talking about life skills.
Life skills, exactly.
So some of the young people, when you're having this conversation with them, of course, like I said, we're always going to come across one or two who obviously haven't, have some little challenges. They may not really understand how to be in a setting. And so they're going to sort of act out because that's what they do. So when you're in these settings, like you said, you got those who probably felt, I didn't even think he was going to come because you don't care. Nobody cares about us. And then the one who doesn't, another one who may feel that way, that acts out. And he has to be, or she has to be loud and just over the top. In these moments when you are having these conversations with these young people and you see these different attitudes, but you do see opportunity in these moments. How does this work? How I mean, it's a challenge because remember now the beautiful thing is you're men. Men tend to have a presence with young people that's very different from women. And when that male speaks, a lot of times people sort of they be quiet. So tell me how some of that works with these different personalities and seeing this excellence that's before them, that's saying that, look, you can be whatever you want to be. Well, how are you going to say I'm nothing? I come from nothing. And so I act out as if I'm nothing.
Well, I'll just give you a story that we have from one of our camps. We had a kid.
I already know.
He actually, his mom had him in karate. And he was absolutely combative. He basically didn't want to do anything there. And at one point, I walked up to him and I'm just, I'm like, hey man, come on. He's like, hey, don't you bother me. I'm like, wait a minute, dude, hold on. Why you putting your hands up on me? I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, hold on. So I went to his mom. I said, is he okay? What's wrong with him? She said, he just is like that all the time. I can't get him to break that challenge. I said, well, okay, friend. I walked back over to him. I said, you know what, man, I still love you. I said, that's all I got for you. I still love you. I know you won't hear nothing I got to say, but just know when you walk away from here, just know I told you I still love you. It's all right. So we understand that there's going to be challenges in kids. We get that. We get that there's going to be things happening. We did a home run derby, and I walk around. I'm talking to the parents and going, okay, tell me what you like, what you don't like, this, that, and the other. The one guy looks at me and he says, look at that kid right there. I said, yeah. He said, this kid didn't want to come out here. He didn't want to come out here and do this at all. He said, no, I can't make him leave. He won't go. I'm like, really? He said, man, he didn't want to get out the car. He said, now he's been out here with you guys. Now he don't want to leave. He wants to stick around. I'm like, well, that's a wonderful thing then. That's great. So we get all kinds and all sides of it, and we understand it. I mean, I have children. They ain't really children. They're grown adults now. But I understand the way people have their different things happening in their life and what affects them. So I try to have patience and realize that whatever the kid is doing, it wasn't me. I just met you today. I didn't meet you yesterday. I met you today.
But how is, what do you say is different from programs like yours and what's happening in the school where there does not seem to be the discipline? What is it that you think is happening that children can't or refuse to learn? Or I don't know what's happening. I'm too far removed from that now. But, I mean, you get a chance to see them, and in a few minutes, you might be able to turn some things around. But that's you. You want them to take that back too. You want them to take it home. You want them to take it into the classroom. But even in this moment, and you see the change, what do you think that you bring that's different from the classrooms that they're entering? And I don't think all classrooms are bad, but clearly there's something that's going on in the classrooms that children are not always, I guess, doing what they should be doing. Or I was doing some tutoring once, and
in one of the high schools, and I was a little shocked that the children were unruly. You know, the teacher was trying to teach a Algebra 2 class, and I was in there doing some tutoring, but they wouldn't shut up, you know. So I was like, how do you get your work done?
Well, I think literally one of the things that I know that we do, and I'll let Kevin even take this, one of the things we do, we ask him. We ask him, what's going on? What's happening with you? What's making you be that way?
And it's a bit of a, I don't want to say apples to oranges, but in our setting, right, we don't necessarily have to worry about the amount of protection as being in a school classroom setting. When I say protection, I'm talking about, okay, I got one kid here, talking about a school setting. Got one kid here, or maybe two kids here, and they're unruly. And I have to worry about how to protect every other kid in this classroom and still try to get something done. And a lot of times the easiest way to do that is just to remove those two kids. And so we remove those two kids and we forget about them. We might call their parents, go have them sit in the office, this, that, and the other. And that's their day. And so we can get our job done with the other kids here. And yeah, the other kids benefit, but those two don't. In our setting, even if we have a kid like that, there's enough of us, which is key. There's enough of us that we can still do what we have to do with the other children, but there's enough of us there that we can tend to the one child or the two child or however many that are being unruly, and we can take care of their needs too. And so that's kind of where you see the difference in what we're able to do and why we're able to do it, as opposed to necessarily being in the classroom. And yeah, we get those kids out of there and now we forget about them.
Well, but SOX Foundation seems like it should be in the schools. I mean, well, you know, when you keep hearing all of these stories that children are not learning, part of the other thing I think when we look at education, and we can go back to our own education, they have this cookie cutter type of learning that really even when I was growing up, I felt that while I can follow you, you could always see the child who wasn't really catching on. And really, there needs to be a change in the way we educate people, because what works for one or two or three or half of the class may not work for the other half. But also, we don't have enough men in the classrooms. I still say men bring a different dynamic to the picture. And yet, when we talk about teachers, far too often we look and we think about females, but we're not thinking about the males who really bring a lot to the table. A lot of times just their voice alone will calm everything down. And if you take him out in the hallway and you have a conversation with him, usually you can get him back in there and everything is over with. Whereas a female, we're going to overreact a lot of times, I'm assuming, because if you got this unruly child, you're frustrated, you know, and you think about, as you say, all of these other people. Why isn't organizations like yours doing more work in the school? Because the way things look come 2025, you know, we got some challenges that we're going to be looking at. And I think the Black community needs to be really taking a look at how we will be supporting these young people in the future. And organizations like yours need to be on board to help in those areas if our educators truly want to do the job that our children need and deserve. So what would you say to that?
Well, I would say the very last part you just said was, if the educator wants to do this, if you care enough, then you can succeed in doing it. You can succeed in getting through to those kids. But when you don't care and you're just pushing the 9 to 5 or 8 to 3, whatever the school mandate is today, if all you're doing is saying, I'm coming here to get my paycheck, then you're in it for the wrong cause.
Yeah, they're talking about destroying education, and they want to push charter schools. It sounds great on the surface, but if you can pick and choose who you want, and you can kick out who you want, then we're back to what you were saying. We're going to throw out the ones who don't. So I'm saying if we are not talking to people like SOX Foundation and other organizations who have a track record, who are not afraid, who are willing to deal and confront these issues, then for 2025 and beyond, how does the future look for us?
We have to not be afraid to have those conversations. And we have to not be afraid to talk to those kids. It's very easy when everything's going along great. Life is wonderful and it's easy to be able to navigate through. But what happens when you hit that bump on the road? Now what are you doing? Are you just going to take that kid and just cast them aside? Because I've known plenty of people who can tell you right today, because of a teacher they had or because of some mentor they had, it changed them. And it made them completely different. So why are we not looking at our future? Because that is our future. Because these kids are going to have to vote. They're going to have to pay taxes. Guess what? We need them. So why are we letting them suffer? Why are we not pouring back into them the way we're supposed to? This is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to reach back and pull each other up. But we're not doing it. Everybody's looking out for self. Myself. I got to get myself. No. No, that's not what you're here for. You weren't put here for that.
That's right.
And I think that's the bigger answer to the question that you're asking, because and literally that's a whole nother 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour lifetime show to do about why this is happening in our schools when it becomes, and shout out to my teachers, because I know a ton of teachers who do care, but what's beyond them, teachers unions and all this political things that get in the way of what we're trying to do with these children comes into play. And so when we ask the question, well, you know, why aren't they reaching out to other organizations, and why don't they let you help, and why don't they do this, and why don't they do that? To a lot of them, they would. But it's obviously, as they say, beyond their pay grade. So they don't get to have as much influence in those type of decisions as they probably need to.
All right. Well, we coming to a close. So, Carl, I want you to talk about SOX Foundation in our last few minutes and tell us what you want us to know about it, how people can reach out, how they can support you. Because SOX, they may not be doing anything right now, or, you know, you may have some upcoming events, but people need to know where they can follow you and see what's going on. So you got a few minutes to talk about that, what you're doing.
Absolutely. Literally, the way to really reach us, you can reach out to the SOX Foundation. Our website is ShySoxFoundation.com. And we also have an email address, which is the ShySoxFoundation20@gmail.com. You can reach out to us there. And as far as what we have on our website, we have a donate button. Please help support us. Please, anything that you give, it goes a long way. And these kids get a lot of different things that come up. All of our events are for free, everything we do. We've done book bags in the future. We've done those. We've done the turkey giveaways, as I mentioned before. We've done all kinds of stuff that we've been doing, and everything is free. Everything we put out is free. When we do our clinics, those are free for Joe Soto. When we do our pitch, hit, and run for Major League Baseball, because we're tied into them, that is free. And it's an opportunity for a kid to very possibly move on and go to the next phase of it. You could very possibly go to the World Series and go compete. That's pretty big for a kid to see that and know that's something they can accomplish and do. So please, reach out to us. Give us a helping hand. If you say, you know what, I can't come out and do that, but I'll come out and give my time. We welcome you. Please come out.
And
please come out.
And it's much more than baseball. It's an education. It's a life learning experience. For 2025, what's your hope, your desire? You know, like I said, we got some challenges. So how do you see 2025 and beyond as we look to the future with our young people?
Well, in 2025, the one thing I know we're going to have, we're about to upgrade a little bit on our pitch, hit, and run. So we're going to probably do about 100 kids this year. So we're looking to really blow the doors off this thing and really make it wonderful. Our turkey giveaways were already set. We've got half of that stuff put together now. So we're already running towards that. And we're looking to start doing more things, not just at one time a year. We really want to get started and doing what we're looking for. My end goal, what I would love to have, my vision is for us to have a building in Chicago where we have a safe haven for kids to come to, and we have programs set for them. That is my end goal for this.
Tell the mayor,
that's what
tell
I
the governor.
love to have is to be able to do that so that we can start putting this together and really moving forward toward helping the youth, because we really have to start doing it. If we don't, we're going to have what we have out in the streets right now.
That's right.
And it's just sad to see. It's sad for us to have to go through this, but unfortunately, we're at that point where, okay, let's do something about it. Let's start moving forward, guys. We keep watching the same thing. It's not getting us anywhere.
No, it's not. We need to put a pin in it, but it's been a joy and a pleasure, Carl Gowen and Kevin Payne. And on behalf of the co-founders, Brother Halif Muhammad, Brother Shahid Muslim, the CROE family, and of course the CROE production team, I pray that Allah will bless each and every one of you with the light of understanding. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum. And also, because I know I'm a member of CROE.